Alright folks, day 2 of the workshop cleanup. I've sorted out a few bits and listed them on the marketplace just to get rid nice and cheap, because stuff's just sitting about. And you know what, like when stuff sits around for too long, it gets on top of you, it just gets annoying, and then you think, just bugger it, let's sell it cheap. So I put these old scales up. 30 quid, someone's coming for them just now. I used to, when I had my eBay shop, I used to sell loads of parts that was perfect for that. You get gearboxes and stuff on there. But eBay is it's a waste of time selling on there nowadays, especially for small businesses. It's just not worth it anymore, so they're just sitting around doing nothing. And I've got a lot of advice here, I've just put it up as well. It's not as big. I bought it off a mate actually, but it's not as big as my one. My one's it's past its best, all the teeth are broken, so you have to wind it and then pull it out. So I should just buy one of the proper urban ones, but they're so expensive. And I've got all sorts of problems with the GSI this morning. I was going to take it out because I've got loads of trees where I am. It just fills up the scuttle panel and everything. It's really annoying. I still haven't got a cover for it. They're only 40 quid for a half decent one. I should just buy one. Power steering doesn't work today. But I know the alternator's buggered. If I leave it for a couple of days, the battery's completely dead. And I know it's draining that. The alternator's draining the battery, because it's a new battery. So I've charged it up again, so I can move it about. So yeah, and I know them covers, some people will say, oh, the covers scratch your paintwork and stuff, but I'm not overly fussed about this thing just now. When the time comes, it'll need a respray anyway, so I'm not overly fussed. And those covers are half decent nowadays. They have foam inserts and stuff. It's not going to be doing anything mad. Plus the paintwork's not great. There's loads of scratches in it. It needs a good detail. But it's just an ongoing thing that it's never going to be ready. Although it is on the road, it's never going to be anything special anytime soon. So today I've kind of cleaned up quite a bit. I'm going to put this engine block on the engine stand if I can find it, and probably build that up over winter. I can't remember why I took it to bits. I'm sure because it was a little bit low in compression, which was just a sticky valve, so I'll have to pull them out and clean them up again. But it's just the engine's been sitting so long, it just wasn't used. And then I can bolt all these bits on under here, and get rid of them. There's a spare alternator for me. I'll give them all a lick of paint, clean up a lick of paint, and bolt this engine back together, and then it'll be a spare engine. And I'll do the same with the gearbox. I'll clean it up, and give it a lick of paint, and change the seals and that. Although I think I changed the seals not too long ago on that. So I've got rid of all the calipers yesterday. I'm going to throw these wheels and my brother's S3 wheels in the back of the Astra van. I'm going to take them down to Dundee this week, probably tomorrow, drop them off for refurb. And this is a floor mat out of T5. So this is all T4 stuff that I'm just never going to use or need. Turbos and stuff. And I think I've got a steering rack for a T4 up there as well. There's supposed to be a guy coming on Thursday, and I'm just giving him the whole lot for 50 quid. It gets it out of my way. I've even got depot lights for one of them T4s as well. Well, let's give him them. It just gets rid of this stuff. I'm never going to use it. T4 is probably the biggest waste of money, total waste of money that I've ever wasted. I think I bought the van for I think it was $3 grand, It was on eBay for 5.5 or best offers. And me and the missus had just come back from the Peak District, and we were all pumped for going out. We talked about getting a camper van for years and years, and this T4L, I had a little soft spot for the T4s, and I just offered the guy $3,000 straight away, expecting it to be rejected, and he accepted it straight away, and I instantly knew I'd made a mistake. And I went and seen it, and it was absolutely hammering it down with range, so I couldn't get a proper look at it. I just took it for a spin around the block. The clutch pedal was squeaking, but it drove all right. I mean, I didn't really go past 30 miles an hour. And then on the way home on the A9, it broke down numerous times, and it was a total disaster. And I couldn't see the engine for oil the next day afterwards, and I can't run motors like that. I ended up pulling the engine out and rebuilding it. It was some video. There's a 4-part series on my channel of the engine rebuild and that. And then it's discovered the usual T4 rot, and it just went on and on and on and on and on and on. I got so fed up with welding and patching, I just gave up with it. It was a total waste of money. Total waste of money. Thankfully though, I got my money back with most of the parts, the engine and the gearbox and loads of the other parts. This is all the parts. These are the only parts I've got left. So I've probably made I probably broke even, to be fair. So I just want rid of this T4 stuff. It's a sore reminder of what a waste of money that was. I hope this GSI doesn't go the same way. Anyway, so I've had to tidy up around here. There's some, this is all GSI Vauxhall stuff. I might take this down to the blasters as well, because I could do with the crossovers being done and the top hat if there's one in there somewhere. It's all 19 CVTi air boxes, and then there's MAF extensions and stuff, all stupid stuff for modifying engines. I'll never use it. I'm just not interested in modifying stuff nowadays. It doesn't excite me anymore. My days are gone. So I don't know if I should just keep everything, spare engine, gearbox. I'll have spare wheels. I've got these wheels. I've got 2 Recaro interiors, intercoolers, two of everything to go in one of these. Hopefully they go up a bit more in money and I can sell everything together. Either that or I hang on to it and wait until maybe I can retire on it. Probably not. You never know. Oh well, so I need to do something with the old Astra engine. I should just scrap it, but it seems like a waste. But the question is, will I ever use it? Will I ever need it? Because I mean, like I said, but when I was doing the Astra video, it's not cost effective to rebuild these things. But I mean, there's loads of stuff on it. There's EGRs and throttle bodies, oil coolers, pumps, injectors, spare turbo, sump. There's just always money and stuff for me anyway. I'll just always see money. The likelihood is I'll scrap that and then I'll end up needing a boost controller or something, which will probably cost me 40 quid. It's 40 quid I could have saved by keeping that. It's just storing stuff. I hate stuff lying around my feet. I love a nice clean workshop, loads of space, and keeps your mind clear, so you can do a better job, I think, anyway. But I mean, it's better than it was. I really want to get these wheels stacked up, but I don't know where to put them. I just don't have any space. I just don't have any space anywhere. I thought about putting a rack up there and storing all the wheels on it. But I've probably got 1, 2, 3 sets of wheels anyway that would need to be stored. So like 4, 8. That's only squeeze them on. I just need to make something strong enough to take the weight. So yeah, I'll look into that. And then she's got tons of spares everywhere. Vector B racks. That's a spare Mark IV Aster rack, and that's a Corsa C rack that I rebuilt. I've got panels for Vector Bs. I think that's a spare GSI spoiler that I sold on eBay and someone changed their mind, and that is a Mark III Aster GSI scuttle panel. All the kit, I sold that on eBay and someone changed their mind as well. I think those were the last two items and I just give up with eBay. It was a total waste of time. And I just need to clean up these seats, put them back in the van, and then we'll be nice and tidy in here. So I'm going to go and find an engine stand for this thing, and then I can start building this engine back up and get my my bench back, which would be nice. Oh, and I'm about to throw these in the back of the van. Real frosty today. No, I forgot about this axle. I just picked up new wheel bearings and everything on it. I need to strip this down and get the bushes out so I can take this down to the shop blaster as well. Yeah, this one's got the domes for the springs, which is great. So I'll take this inside and strip it down. And I might try and drop a heap of stuff off at the blaster at the same time, although I need the subframe off that thing as well, because I want to get that done. And then I think that will be a heap of good bits blasted, ready for whatever I put it on this van probably. Right, I've finally got everything ready that I want to be blasted and powder coated. I got the subframe off the old 5-door, and I've stripped it down and got all the bushes out, just sitting there. And then I've got the anti-roll bar and a couple of the steering bracket, power steering pump brackets and that. I'm going to go and throw them in the box, and I'm going to load them up into the van, along with them the GSI wheels. I can get them back on here, and my brother's S3 alloys, and that'll get everything away for a few days. So, and then I'll take a drive down to Dundee, which is about 40 minutes south of me, so I'll drop them all off after lunch. Mrs. has promised a bacon roll today for lunch, so I ain't missing that. So I'll have that first, and then I'll go down to Dundee, get rid of all these bits. And I don't actually know what I'm doing with all these powder coated parts yet. I just I don't want to throw the parts out in the bin because it seems like a waste. Mark IV Asters are getting scarce, so I want to try and hang on to the bits. And I had a convertible. I don't think I've ever seen it on the channel, but I had a convertible, Mark IV Aster convertible 1.8, done 250,000 miles and I rebuilt the engine, and I actually miss it. Here it is here before I modified it, and I don't have a picture of it modified. I probably do on my laptop somewhere. But yeah, these are some of my old cars, if anyone's interested. An old GSI. This was a 2 litre 8 valve, and I think it was a 1600 actually, but I put a 2 litre 8 valve and NE engine in it. It's got GSI slabs, you probably can't see on there, straight through exhaust and that. It's a great car. That was a company car back in the day when it was new, an Astra SRI diesel thing. It was gutsy as, just, it was garbage as well, it was horrible. It was my pride and joy. It was a 2.6. I loved that car. But there's a bit of a story behind that, but that's for another day. This is in the days when I was into the E36s. Had a few of them. Horrible to work on. This was a Cavi Turbo 4x4 that I got for 50 quid, would you believe? Isn't that crazy? The chances of getting one of them for 50 quid nowadays. This was an SRI 140, that was a great car as well. The Vector Bs were always great for me. And this was my Astra SRI Turbo, one of the 500 made. It was mint, 100% original, apart from a full stainless system, but everything else. I sold that to a guy up Inverness Way, a young lad. He bought it and turned it into a GSI replica, and then I think he smashed it and wrote it off a couple of weeks later. Total waste. An absolute idiot. There's another view of it. It was just mint, that thing. That was my brother's first car when he passed his test. It was a great little car. There's my truck. I miss my truck. I'm hoping to get another truck soon. An L200. That was an old, I don't know what that was. I don't know, I think it was a Cavi GSI. I think it was just a rep. And this was my Cavi back in the day. I had that. I must have had that Cavi for 10 years. Bought it for 50 quid off a student in Aberdeen. He was at college, couldn't afford to run it or fix it. I went up and bought it and had it for 10 years. I practically rebuilt that whole car. I think I even sprayed it in my garage years and years ago. I just did loads of stuff to it. Didn't even bother me. I polished it every Sunday without fail. Then I moved back to Newcastle, which is where I'm originally from, and it got stolen, used in a ram raid, and then set on fire in a field, and that was the end of that. Still hurts to talk about it. And again, I can't get Cavaliers full of no money anymore. They're just crazy money, or even like £1,000 for a car that needs fully restored, and I just can't be bothered with fully restoring cars nowadays. I'm struggling with this thing and it's half done. Anyway, so I still got to clean up these seats, and I'm on my way to go and get the engine stand now for that. I keep going on about it, but I need to get that on the engine stand. I've ordered the parts for it, gasket kits. It just needs cleaned up, like the paint, all the parts all painted up, cleaned and rebuilt. And I'm sure there's a couple of valves on here that are leaking. I just need to lap them back in, seal it up again. And this is the bits off that subframe I've just stripped down. So, already forgotten what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm going to go and load up all the parts in the van first. That's what I'll do, because I'll have to go with them after lunchtime, so I'm going to do that now. Alright, so that's tidied it up a bit. You can walk all the way around here now, which I never used to be able to do. So, just need to get this on a stand, and then I think that's the garage had a good tidy up and service. I don't think I've got anything else I need to do. Yep, looks good. So, yeah, let's go and get the engine stand. Right, so that's the engine on the stand now. So I can potter about with that, doing bits and pieces here and there. Probably strip it all down and clean it up, give it a lick of paint. I'll probably paint it black this time. And clean all the pistons, although they're not too bad. I'm sure it was rebuilt, well, I suppose it was maybe four years ago now. It hasn't really done much. But it'd be nice to get it built up and get all that stuff away, tidied up. So damn, that looks like mice have been at that. Look what plug is. I suppose it's that time of year. It's cold when the mice come in from there's a farm just up the road, so the field mice coming down here. But I do have a cat, Cooper, who's usually pretty good at eradicating them boys. So he's obviously slipping just now. He's getting a bit older as well, my cat, so he's not as keen to go outside in the cold. But he'll be getting thrown in here if there's going to be mice kicking about. So I've got the Hoover out finally. I'm going to clean up my seats and see if they come up alright, put them back in the van. And so this is Thursday. Yesterday was the day that I loaded up the van and took the wheels and all the axles and that down to Dundee. When I dropped the wheels off, the guy said that it would be ready today, which is mental. But I mean, I've seen his work on Facebook and stuff, and it looks really good. So it's probably be all right, I guess. But it's a quick turnaround. But I mean, I guess the big companies and that, they can turn stuff around quick. And the other stuff, the axles and the calipers and stuff like that, I give them to Keith, my powder coater, Tayside powder coatings in Dundee. He's just sound as, he's chilled out, nothing's an issue. I told him if stuff's not ready till next year, it's not ready till next year, which his eyes lit up a bit. So, but I mean, I've got no use for it just now anyway, so it will just come back and sit around. So if it sits in his unit for a couple of months, that's fine. I might have decided what I'm going to do with it by then. Maybe put it on the Astra van, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so that's that. But if I get the wheels back, that's cool. I'll go and get them back on, get my Uni Royals off the other alloys and put them onto the these refurbed alloys and put them back on the car. And because I'm not a fan of black on black, but these wheels are mint. They were refurbed, powder coated a couple of years ago. There's nothing wrong with them. They'll just go into storage. And maybe, little things like the wheels are quite an easy job to do, but they make a massive difference. And sometimes with long-term projects, when you sort of lose the will a little bit, just doing a little thing like that, putting new wheels on, just gives you a bit more of a kick up the arse, a bit more enthusiasm to crack on with it. So I'm hoping that's what happens, because I mean, if you've watched all of the I think it's 15 parts that I've done of this thing. If you've watched all them, you'll have seen all the work that I've done. So everything's poly boost and powder coated underneath. Light in the background. I've got to pull the head off and do the oil stem seals, because it's just oozing oil out everywhere, even out of the manifold and stuff. It's a real mess. Speaking of mess, all my nice painted parts and stuff. So I've got to do that. And the oil cooler pipes at the back, which are like this one. So this is the oil cooler. So these pipes are, they're not rubbish. It's just that they're at an age now where they leak all the time. But I seen Nevlock. They've done braided pipes for these now, so I quite fancy them. They are a bit pricey. They're 110 quid, I think they are. But they would be far better. They wouldn't leak or anything like that. So I'm trying to sort of get funds together and just sort of do everything at once, because once the head's off, it's easier to do them cooler pipes. Well, as you can see, it's easier to get down the back, unless I pull the engine out again, of course, but I don't want to go as far as that. But if the head's off, I can get into these pretty easily, change them out with the braided ones, and then I can do the stem seals, lap the valves back in, put the head on with a new timing belt and stuff. And I've got a new exhaust manifold that I want to put on, and yeah, and then I think that's all. I think that's it, really. Yeah, so I just need to do just looking to refresh my memory. Yeah, so just the stem seals, and then obviously a new head gasket and all that's got to be done again. And a timing belt. I can't remember what else I had to do. I've got a new manifold, and I've got a new actuator, because that one's a bit scabby looking. Works perfect, but I really want it to be as clean as under here in the original. And then once the stem seals are done, hopefully that helps with all the oil pressure and stuff. I can get rid of this, and then I just need to refresh the top hat and the crossover, and get a battery bag. And then I think it's pretty. Oh well, I've got to replace this pipe. You wouldn't believe how difficult this pipe is to get with these clips as well. It's just mental. I hate that. I hate them silicone hoses. They're just rubbish. I mean, there is still loads of stuff to do. I've still got to send the ECU away for repair, and I've got to put an alternator on it, because it's draining the battery. None of that stuff is a big deal. It's just getting motivated to do it. The thing is, all I've got to do is pull the ECU off and send it away. It'll probably be back in 1 or 2 days from ECU testing. Those guys are quick as anything, and then it would be a lifetime warranty. An alternator is no big deal to change, but again, it's easier to do that when the head's off, do the pipes at the same time. Like, if I got everything ready, I could do it all in a day. I just can't be bothered, you know. So I'm hoping when I put these refurbed wheels on, that'll give me a kick up the ass, and then I can just concentrate on the bodywork, which I'll not be doing it. I haven't got the patience for bodywork. There's a couple of lads I've been looking at that might do it. It's difficult getting decent body guys nowadays that'll do a proper job. A lot of guys just weld new panels on, and then they don't really treat behind, and it's the worst thing for me anyway. But outsourcing work is I'm not there to see it, so I just have to trust that they'll do a good job and be as anal as I would be, but there's no guarantee. So just gotta hope that they do. They take pride in the work. Anyways, probably rambled on way too much. This video is probably going to be too long, me just talking rubbish. I don't suppose anyone wants to listen to that. So anyway, I'm pretty much done in the garage now. I'm tidied up. I'll just I'll wait, hoover up these seats, and see if I get a call. If I get called back, I'll maybe do another part on the putting the wheels on and stuff. But anyways, cheers for watching. If you like this sort of chit chat rubbish, then cool, let me know. And if not, also let me know, so I don't make any more of these videos for you. Alright folks, see you after.